Alright, don't worry, ladies and gents. We're just taking a little bit of time, just a few more minutes just to get everyone into the lobby, and we'll be set and ready to go. Midway, thank you so much for the follow. We're now up to 170 followers on the channel, so really do appreciate that. Really do appreciate that, Midway. And thank you for coming in very quickly as well, actually. Very quick response. And I think we're just almost set and ready to go. Waiting on Dylan to choose his car. Waiting on a few more people to make their way in. And then we'll get this show started. And actually, you know what? We can actually... And there's iCommons. He's able to join us here tonight. And I think we're able and set ready to go. So, alright. Ladies and gentlemen, happy Tuesday everybody. Welcome back to Smoking Pirelli's Racing Club as we're here for the Tuesday League Season 4 Round of 9 at the Bahrain Grand Prix, the penultimate race of the season. I am your commentator Justin, also known as Just Gaming, whichever you beautiful people back at home prefer. But as always, a short qualifying session with a 29 lap race here around Bahrain is going to be very difficult for these drivers. It's going to be very difficult, but as we are here for Formula 1 Gulf Air Bahrain Grand Prix 2022 presented by Smoking Pirelli's Racing Club, here at the Bahrain International Circuit, 15 corners make up the circuit with a very crucial Sector 2 making up the majority of the track. A little bit of a newer track to the Formula 1 calendars, as the first ever Grand Prix here was actually back in 2004. Again, we're looking around 29 laps around Bahrain. A 5.4 kilometer circuit. We're looking around a race distance of 166 161, I should say. Sorry about that. 161 to 165 kilometers here today. The current lap record was actually set in the second year of the Bahrain Grand Prix by Pedro de la Rosa with a 131.447 back in 2005. But a little bit of a brief description about where we are. So, of course, here at Sakhir, Bahrain, where the ground was broken for the Bahrain International Circuit, in December 2002, like the Yas Marina Circuit in Abu Dhabi, the developers had a blank, sandy canvas to work with, and with that fashioned the technical 5.4 kilometer track designed by Herman Tilke, who has been responsible with a lot of the newer Formula 1 tracks adding to the calendar. But it was 2004 when the drivers first lined up under an unusually cloudy sky for the inaugural Bahrain Grand Prix. The race was dominated, like many in 2004, by the two Ferraris, with Michael Schumacher winning it out from Rubens Barrichello, while the crowds were also treated to a fantastic dogfight between the Jaguar of Mark Webber and the Renault of Fernando Alonso as well. And the track is a little bit difficult here today. You can usually expect great racing and decent amounts of overtakes in Bahrain, while the drivers have to contend with wind, racing under floodlights, and the difficulty of finding a decent setup with the wide temperature fluctuations between sessions as well, where the track's most challenging point is the tight downhill off-chamber turn 10 left-hander, while the fast run through turn 11 and 12 is another highlight, allowing the racers to really feel their cars coming alive as they fight against those G-forces to keep their car on the track. And if you guys are interested in watching the Bahrain Grand Prix, we actually already saw the Bahrain Grand Prix, of course, kicking off the 2022 calendar, 2022 season, back in March of 18th and March of 20th, where we saw the two Ferraris dominating Bahrain once again, with Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz bringing home the 1-2, with Lewis Hamilton actually getting a third place due to a catastrophic failures from both of the Red Bulls of Sergio Perez and Max Verstappen. Sergio Perez actually on the final lap as well. We actually saw a good result from the Haas of Kevin Magnussen making his return to Formula 1 in the Haas, and we also saw the newbie, the newcomer on his debut, Zhou Guanyu for the Alfa Romeo, getting his first points ever in Formula 1, finishing in 10th place. And there was a very viral video going out about the what was it? It was about the Chinese commentators getting very excited to see Zhou Guanyu in the points. There was like there's like that video spread like forest fire, to be honest with you. It was absolutely hilarious in my opinion. But as we are here in the penultimate race of the season, let's actually get a quick rundown of the standings here, ladies and gentlemen. So, well, of course, let's actually look at the track list. So we've had rounds 1 through 8 from the season starting on the 12th and 14th of April for the Tuesday and Thursday league. Now today we find ourselves at Bahrain for round 9, and we'll be ending the season next week on the 14th at Zandvoort to see who'll be crowned champion of the Tuesday division and champion of the Thursday division. But if you guys did miss the last race where we were at Saudi Arabia, I believe I was there. Was I there? I'm starting to think if I was there or not. I'm pretty sure I was there. They haven't actually updated the standings yet, so I'm not too sure what they are planning on doing there. But as of round 7 of Singapore, we actually see Drunk Pirates still leading the way with 296 points. I do believe the Jeddah Grand Prix has been the result's gonna be a little bit delayed, as there was a very controversial event that happened during that race between top 2 of the Drivers' Championship with Drunk Pirate and Skills Dan. So I believe the stewards are still going to be figuring out the results of the race and see who will be coming out on top of that and who will be allocated the right amount of points. So I'm not going to give you an update on the standings as of yet. But from what I'm looking at, no, I'm not doing that, Liam. Nope, I'm not doing that, buddy. Sorry, I just saw a message in the Discord, and I'm not going to be doing that. But let's get this show on the road, ladies and gentlemen. Short qualifying with a 50% race, as always. And if you guys are enjoying smoking Pirellis and you do see yourself coming back from time to time, this is where all of the commentary for the Tuesday division will occur. And if you do see yourself coming back from time to time, please hit that follow button. I'm trying to get around to 175 before the end of the season, so I'm hoping for another 5 followers before next week, or at the end of next week's stream. However, with this track as well, I've just told you about the events that happened in the real life scene. Let's actually look at some of the more memorable moments as we wait for the drivers to get out there on the track. A lot of stuff has happened throughout Bahrain, where a few years ago, actually, George Russell was actually in the Mercedes, and unfortunately got unlucky with a mixed tire allocation set, like a mixed tire set, got on the wrong set of tires, and had to make another pit stop, and really was unfortunate for him, as he was having such a good race, and had to take the early leave on that one. But let's see who's going to be the first driver out, as we get a brief description of the Bahrain International Circuit, and it looks like it's going to be the McLaren of Lost Robot Gaming. Actually recently changed his name, actually, ladies and gentlemen. You would have known him as Drunk Pirate or Captain Jack throughout the years. Changed his name yet again to Lost Robot Racing. But as you can see, down towards turn 1, you have this tight hairpin to a little bit of an S turn 2 and 3. Very easy to lose the back end coming up these corners, as the elevation change and the bumps on the track makes it very difficult as you make your way under the floodlights towards turn 4. Now you enter sector 2 with the difficult 5, 6, and 7 S's, as it's very easy to lose the back end if you take too much of that curb. As you can see, Lost Robot making it stick as he comes up towards turn 8. And then, as I said before, the difficult parts of the track, we have the slight left-hander of turn 9, but this downhill left-hander at turn 10 really makes that left front tire really eat on the track as you try to chuck that car and swing them around that track. Down towards the second DRS zone as you make your way up towards turn 11 and 12. Very easy to lose the back end on this one as well. A lot of drivers prone to the oversteer into turn 12. Now up towards turn 13, as you have a bit of a long straight down towards turn 14 and 15, ending the lap. Seriously surprised, in my opinion, how that's not a DRS zone, but decides not to become one, as we now make 14 and 15, and Drunk Pirate, also known as Lost Robot, I gotta start calling him Lost Robot Racing now, as he's gonna be starting a new lap here, and he's gonna be setting the standard here, trying to defend the title here tonight. Let's see if he's gonna be the one, as Cold Steel is hit with a black and white, with a black flag, I do believe that is, as he has been disqualified for being parked in a dangerous position there. I believe serving a quali ban here tonight for Cold Steel, as Lost Robot enters Sector 2 with a staggering 28 seconds, as he now is right behind the Alpine, just ahead of him. Good evasive maneuvers there, and good awareness to move out the way and avoid the hot lappers on the track. And a very good entrance down towards turn 10 here for Drunk Pirate, and we're actually going to see how he's feeling inside that car as he's making his way up the hill towards turn 11 and 12. Gets the swinging left-hander to the right, and you can see the head movement and the hands on the wheel, just trying to keep that car down on the track. Entering Sector 3 now, the last-ditch effort to see what time he'll be setting the standard on. It might not be a quick time, but as always, ladies and gentlemen, as qualifying continues on, he's going to just apply a lot more rubber out on the track, and it will make these cars go even quicker. So far, the standard being a 127.1 by the championship leader of Lost Robot Racing. So a very, very good job there, and we have our first crash of the qualifying, actually, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna go on board with Gromfeld to see the damage there, and going to be BGR Atmos, as he has crashed around turn 13, and that's what I was saying earlier. The oversteer in these cars making it very difficult for him, and he's like right before the entrance of the apex, so these drivers need to be careful there, or else they'll be seeing themselves early from this as well. Looks like Mo Thraz was actually able to improve on his lap time, taking provisional pole by just over a tenth of Lost Robot Racing. A good first lap there for the Alpine driver. Let's just see how the rest of the drivers compare. Let's actually look at the tire allocations, as Natalie is the first one to break into the 126s with the 126.595, but then instantly gets beaten back by Skills Dan with a 126.397. Amazing time there from Skills Dan, as he is going to be battling out with Lost Robot Racing for the Drivers' Championship. Practically has the Constructors' Championship guaranteed, as Liam is able to get into a 126.0 time. As I said, ladies and gentlemen, a lot quicker than what I was originally anticipating. But as time goes on, these lap times are just going to go quicker and quicker, as Liam goes into the runoff area to move out of the way, I believe, of Lost Robot Racing. Captain Jack, Drunk Pirate, goes by many names. Let's see if he's going to be improving coming into Sector 2. He's currently down on his ERS, as he's down by 0.5, so not a good start there, and it looks like he's going to be going for a banker lap, as Spillage's teammate of Gary, also known as iComets, has himself a little bit of a spin off of turn 10, and just trying to go back on the throttle on that downhill. Very, very difficult for these drivers, as it's very easy to spin this car. Gotta say, very easy to spin this car. And from what I've been told about the new Formula 1 game, Formula 1 22, turns out it's actually even easier to spin the car, as you have to be very, very cautious with the throttle. From what I saw in the a lot of the trials that some of the biggest content creators have done, Tiamat Marduk being one of them. I've also seen iContrast being another one, and of course two-time F1 esports champion Jarno Opmeer doing the same as well. We're now going to see how Liam's doing. He's going to go actually into the pit lane, so he's done with that first stint of 126.0 for him. and doing an exceptional job there to kick things off. The medium runners now of Jesper as well as Groeneveld looking to might have to switch onto the set of softs to see if they can make their way up even further in the times. I'm not too sure what their plan is going to be there. Dylan is still yet to make a lap done, and he is actually invalidated, so let's just see how he does on a new lap as he sprints down towards turn 1, opens the DRS as he's going to be reaching those optimal times, as he's now reaching around 323 kilometers an hour before going under braking. And now let's see what the Williams driver can do as he sprints around the circuit. He's coming up towards turn 4 now. At the end of the first DRS zone, 3 DRS zones make up the circuit from turns 3 to turn 4, as Dylan again struggles with the track limits here at Bahrain as he gets yet another invalidation. Let's see, his teammate of Panda is actually out there. I believe he's on a lap. I'm not entirely too sure. Actually, it does not look like it. He's actually saving up quite a bit of ERS as we wait for some of the drivers to make their way through. But ladies and gentlemen, as most of the drivers are coming back into the pit lane for another stint, we're actually going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to be right back after some short messages. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back after the quick commercial break. As we are on board now with Mo Threats, he actually just set a purple sector 2. This could be a very, very good time here from the Alpine driver, as he's going to be looking to get up ahead of his teammate of Reloaded, who actually gave himself a little bit of slipstream down the second DRS straight up towards turn 11. Mo Threats now crossing the line and improves by a tenth and moves up to P4 with an amazing time there. Still yet to beat the big hitters of Natalie Skillsdan and Liam as they top the timing charts. We're now going to go on board with Lost Robot Racing as he has to bang out a better lap here, as he is now up by just under 2 tenths. Coming up towards turn 5, 6, 7, and now towards turn 8. Very easy to lose the car here if you go on that curb. As we just saw an improvement by Groeneveld as he moves up to P4 for the time being. Lost Robot Racing looks like he's doing an exceptional job here for the McLaren as he takes the sprint down towards turn 11, hugs that outside line, keeps the momentum on the inside, hits the apex up towards turn 12 as he gets this sweeping right-hander, and he is able to move up faster by 4 tenths now. This could be a staggering time here from the McLaren as he sprints down towards turn 14 and 15 for the last opportunity. 7 minutes left in qualifying, so there's plenty of opportunity actually later on. So I'm going to take back my statement on that. But Lost Robot Racing is going to cross the line, improve by just 4 tenths, moves just ahead of Groeneveld, just misses out of Natalie, but still with a 126.508, an amazing time there. Doesn't look like anyone's going to be challenging Liam's time of a 126.0 up in provisional pole. We're now seeing Reloaded improve on his lap time to 126.6 of his own. Just beats Groeneveld by 42 thousandths of a second there. So an amazing time there from Reloaded to make his way into the third row. Now let's see how the rest of these drivers are doing. I am seeing Cameron Poulter making his way around the final corner as he is going to go into the pit lane actually. So it looks like he was going to improve on his time, but decides to yield and go into the pit lane there. Gronfeld doing the same after improving his time up to P6. So amazing stuff there. As we're now going to see Dusty Fake come around the final corner, up on 4/10 coming into Sector 3. So this could bring him into the top 10 as he sprints down and he just misses out of the top 10 by 12 thousandths of a second off of Shane. Still with a beautiful time there of a 127.1 for him as he goes up to P11. Now we're seeing the McLaren of Lost Robot Racing as he's going to enter the pit lane now after his time. His teammate of Jesper is currently up by a whole second coming into Sector 3, so this could be a top 6 potentially if he bangs out these final few corners here. As he now sprints, opens the DRS towards the timing line, and he moves up to P5 right next to his teammate of Lost Robot, and is going to be the McLaren versus the Mercedes from what it looks like. Dylan is now crossing the line, still invalidates, hoping to start a new one, which he will be, but he's got to work out these track limits here. He's really going to struggle if he's already struggling here in qualifying. Panda is currently going pretty slow into these corners. Not too sure what's happening to the Williams driver here. And looks like he's going to be warming up his tires to start a new lap here. He's going to have to pick up the pace because Dusty Fake is starting to catch up to him now. And let's see Dusty Fake here. And he's actually down by a few. And Landscape King, I believe, is down by a few seconds of his own as well. I'm not entirely too sure. We're going to stay on board with him as he now makes his way down towards the final corner. And Dusty Fake going very slow around the final corner. I believe he's just run out of fuel as Landscape King is going to approach the timing line and is going to be starting a new fast lap here. We're now going to go back up top with Jesper, who is down by 2/10 coming into Sector 3, so it looks like that's going to be his qualifying for the time being over. Liam is actually back out there on the track to avoid, I believe, Landscape King, who's going out there for another lap. You can see him going side to side to warm up those set of compounds, trying to get the heat into him to start his lap. Dylan now finally within the track limits, coming around the final few corners here as he takes the sprint down towards the timing line. And he's going to clock in a 126.8. That's going to move him up to 8th position. And let's see if that's going to be a good lap for him there. And just to let you guys know, we could be seeing quite a bit of one-stops here today if they're starting on the set of hards, potentially starting on the set of mediums. Not too sure if you can do a medium to soft. It'll be very difficult for these drivers as they make their way through. We're going to have to wait and see how they will manage against the tires here. As here in Bahrain, there is going to be no rain, no clouds at all. As here in the desert, all you're going to have is sand, sand, and more sand. And that could be giving the drivers even a tougher break here. As the sand covers the track, it's going to be difficult to find the grip. And that's why the beginning of qualifying is so crucial for these tires. As just to put an extra bit of rubber down on the track and get a little bit of that sand off of the track as well. As we now see Liam has started a new fast lap here, coming up towards turn 2 and 3 for Liam as he takes the sprint down towards turn 4. Let's see how he can do this now for the Mercedes team. He's currently in pole position by 3/10. Is he improving coming into sector 2? He is improving with the purple sector 1/600th of a second improvement. That could be the first 125s that we're going to be seeing here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, as Liam is just going to be continuing on to break the records. Of course, Pedro de la Rosa does have the fastest lap of a 131, so already have seen all of these drivers beat that time. As Liam makes his way on the ascent down up towards turn 12 and now 13 as he enters sector 3 up by 88 thousandths of a second, sorry. So he's improved in sector 1. He has improved in sector 2. Is he going to be improving overall? 2 corners left to go here for Liam as he takes the sprint. Is it going to be the first 125 tonight? And it is. Did an exact same time in sector 3. 88 thousandths improvement. A 125.954. As that really sets the standard here. Shane improves up to P3. Natalie as well. It looks like she's struggling a little bit with the time, as she is down by 2 seconds. So not looking to improve on that one there. Lost Robot Racing coming around the final corner. Goes on the throttle. A little bit of a slippery exit. That could lose him quite a bit of time here as he takes the sprint down. Improves in sector 3 but loses overall in the time. So he's still going to settle for P5 as Shane has crashed out around turn 4. As you can see, still was able to clock in a P3 position with a 126.4. Reloaded moves himself up into the front row and improves by 3/10 and made himself known to the front runners. Now let's see what skills Dan can do. Currently down by 3 thousandths of a second coming into sector 3. He needs to improve by a 10th to move himself back up to the front row. And with the checker flag being waved, this is going to be his last opportunity. And he does improve on his time, but it's not going to be enough. Settles for P3 with a 126.326. Now Natalie is actually doing a lot better on this lap here, as we also see the 2 McLarens have themselves a little bit of a scuffle. So it looks like both of them are going to be finished. Sharpie has actually retired out on the track there. I'm not too sure what happened to him, unless he retired into the pit lane. No, he definitely retired on track. That could be a big no-no there for Sharpie, sorry, as Natalie is now improving by 79 thousandths with a purple sector 2 here. So this could be a good time for her. She could be finding herself back up into that second row. We're going to have to wait and see as she comes around turn 14 and 15 for the AlphaTauri. Natalie Packers, is she going to be the one to make it into the front rows? She's actually going to skip the second row. She's going to move up straight to the front row with a 126.277. Extraordinary time there for Natalie as she is able to get past Reloaded. Now we're seeing both of the McLarens cross the pit lane. Groenfeld improves and is going to go next to his teammate of Shane with a 126.418. And with everyone coming back into the pit lane, that is going to be it for qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. It is Liam on the front row with Natalie Packers. Everyone on the set of softs on their times. Absolutely extraordinary. I'm also looking in the chat as well. Haven't seen anyone make any comments, but I have seen that we have a new follower of Maddie Bennett, as we're now up to 171 followers. Thank you so much, Maddie. Welcome to Smoking Pirelli's Racing Club, here for the Tuesday League Season 4, Round 9 of the Bahrain Grand Prix. And as that rounds up qualifying, ladies and gentlemen, still waiting on Jesper to make his way into the pit lane. And that was going to be it for qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. Liam with a staggering 125, the only driver here tonight to break into the 125s, break through the 126 second barrier, and he's able to take pole position for the British man as the American Natalie lines up on the front row. Then we have Reloaded and Skills then for the second row, where Groenfeld, Shane, the 2 McLarens then of Lost Robot and Jesper. Then we have Sharpie and Dylan rounding up the top 10. The start of the free tire choices are going to go down to Mel Threat, Spillage, Cameron Poulter, Dusty Fake, iCommons, Panda, Landscape King, Uzuri, Atmos, and Cold Steel. Both of the BGRs not setting a time. Cold Steel serving a time penalty. Atmos crashing out during qualifying. And with that actually rounding out, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be giving time for the drivers to put on their setups, change their race strategies, and see who will come out on top as the floodlights lit up the track here tonight. But a little bit of a fun fact, actually. So there was actually 2 races in 2020. So in 2020, Bahrain International Circuit hosted 2 rounds of the championship in order to boost the number of races in a season, which had been heavily impacted by the coronavirus pandemic, where the Bahrain Grand Prix, in which Roman Grosjean made headline news with a miraculous escape from a horrific crash, was held at the end of November as well. There was a little bit of a snippet from Drive to Survive on Netflix, where he describes the whole situation was one of the most catastrophic crashes that we have ever seen in recent times in Formula 1. But ladies and gentlemen, here in Smoke and Pirelli's, there's going to be no formation lap. We're going to go straight on to the racing, as we now have the 5 red lights to set ourselves up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Liam and Natalie on the front row. Who's going to be the one to come out on top? And so far is an amazing start there for Liam as he pulls away. Reloaded is closing in around the outside of Natalie. He's going to try and make the move. We also see the 2 Alfa Romeos as they squeeze. There's an AlphaTauri right on the inside making that dive bomb there. The McLaren of Jasper is battling out with Shane. A little bit of bumping tires here as Shane completely closes in and bumps into the side of Jasper for that. And Jasper's going to move back up to P7 as they still go side to side. You have a spin near the back of Mel's Threats as these drivers are going 2 wide, 3 wide in some cases as they fight against the elements of the desert, as we now also see the double overtake there from Dylan as he is squeezed around the outside of Sharpie. I think Sharpie might be looking at a little bit of damage, not entirely too sure. And now Cameron Poulter actually leading the medium and hard runners after having the free tire choice. And 2 drivers on the set of hards, Panda, and the drivers on the set of medium is going to be Cameron Poulter, Icom, it's Dusty Fake and Spillage, as well as Azudi and Malthreat, everyone else on the set of softs. As we now see Skills Dan making the crucial overtake. Oh, sorry. Drunk Pirate, also known as Lost Robot Racing, making the crucial overtake on Skills Dan. Skills Dan really struggling to stay within the track limits. I think he might be looking at front wing damage, as Shane is looking on the inside here. And yep, he has definitely got some sort of mechanical failure, maybe a front wing damage. He's going to go into the pit lane on lap 1 to take the first pit stop, but it's going to be his teammate of I'm Liamzy who's going to be taking and leading the first lap of this race. Reloaded has gained a position on Natalie coming down towards turn 1 as he lines up in second for the time being. A lot of these drivers going into the pit lane, 5 people already packing the pit stops. As we now see at the end of lap 1, we see Liam still leading the way with Reloaded in second, Natalie in third. Then we have Gronfeld in fourth with the 2 McLarens of Lost Robot and Jesper in fifth and sixth. Then Shane in seventh, Dylan in eighth. Then we have the 2 Ferraris of Landscape King and Cameron Poulter of ninth and 10th. Red Bull Vicom is in 11th. Then Cold Steel with an extraordinary start from the back of the grid, currently up into P12. Dusty Fake in 13th, and Panda Azuri. Skills Dan, unfortunately with the early front wing change, makes the pit stop, switches onto the set of mediums. Sharpie as well on the set of mediums in P17. Spillage in 18th. Atmos in 19th. And Threats in 20th. Now, Liam has Skills Dan has crashed out here, ladies and gentlemen. Skills Dan has crashed out around turn 7 as he goes straight into the wall on some cold set of compounds. And now this is the gift that Lost Robot Racing was hoping for, as Skills Dan is battling out for the Drivers' Championship and already is out of this race. Very unfortunate there on that one. Very, very unfortunate there for him. But as you can see now, the virtual safety car is still out in play. It's not been upgraded to a full safety car, as the drivers are going to be waiting for the green lights, waiting for the FIA to come around and enable the DRS, which is going to be enabled on this lap as it's only a virtual safety car here. We're now actually going to look back on Lost Robot Racing with an astounding start. It's able to get the overtake on Skills Dan. Very unfortunate for him, as this could be his championship wishes going bye-bye here tonight. And if Lost Robot gets the correct amount of points. I don't know what it is yet, as it hasn't been updated. As we have a spin near the back as well with Panda on that virtual safety car restart, as he now slots back into P15. So not a good start for him there. And now with the DRS, Lost Robot is going to be helping out his teammate of Jesper, pull him along the track and keep on pushing. We're now seeing Cold Steel and Dusty Fate going side to side here. Cold Steel and his set of softs is looking to make the moves as Spillage crashes out as well. Same place, same position of Skills Dan. Turn 7 into the wall as Bahrain now with 2 drivers that bite the sand. See what I did there? Instead of saying bite the dust, we're at a desert, so never mind. But Spillage now takes an early leave as well, and that's just going to increase the chances of all of these drivers on the field to improve. Now we're seeing the 2 McLarens. Jasper with an amazing dive bomb on Lost Robot, as Shane now makes the move as well around the outside of turn 2. Now Drunk Pirate, also known as Lost Robot, has Dylan to worry about as he's looking on the inside, and that has really messed up Lost Robot, as I believe he could be looking at front wing damage and could be looking at getting out of the... Actually no, with this race, with this league, everyone who finishes will be getting points, as there's another spin on the track, and it's going to be Panda, who really hasn't shined in that safety car restart. Landscape King going really wide into that corner will just miss out on DRS. And I gotta say, if you guys are just queuing in, welcome to Smoking Pirelli's Racing Club, here for the Tuesday League Season 4 Round of 9 at the Bahrain Grand Prix, the penultimate race of the season for these drivers as they come around the circuit here tonight. Shane now right on the tail end of Jesper. Drunk Pirate, also known as Lost Robot, is really going slow into these corners. Not too sure what's happening here, but I think that he's not going to be trying pushing it at all, as he sees that his main competitor of Skills Dan is out of this race when it comes to the Drivers' Championship. So all he's going to be focusing on is having a clean race, keep getting as many points as possible. As we now have a battle for second place here. Reloaded has just lost second place to Natalie. Groenfeld is getting himself involved as they come up towards turn 2 and 3. And Natalie now into P2. Reloaded in P3. Groenfeld stays in P4. Now, let's see. Shane is closing right on the tail end of Jesper. Dylan actually closing in even more on Shane here. So I think Lost Robot is really struggling to find the pace here tonight. But as I said before, that's not going to be the main thing he's going to be focusing on here. Now we're seeing Landscape King right behind Cameron Poulter. And this is actually going to be bad on Landscape King now on his set of softs, as we have another spin of Sharpie coming around turn 1. Going back to Landscape King is going to be difficult on him, as with those set of softs is going to really struggle here, as we now have a yellow flag, a safety car on the field, as Sharpie has just fully stopped out on the track. Not too sure what's happening with him here, as he has now been disqualified from the event for just parking it on the outside of turn 1. Not too sure what happened with him there. We're going to have to check with him after the race. Well, very unfortunate there, very, very unfortunate, as that is going to be it for his race. The safety car is out on this lap. So, as the drivers will be potentially making themselves a pit stop. There you go, Liam. The leaders go into the pit lane here. And as we do that, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a more of a description about the Bahrain International Circuit. So, the Bahrain International Circuit, also known as Sakir, was designed by Herman Tilke and built in just 16 months with an estimated cost of $150 million US. The tarmac of the track is made from imported grey-wag aggregate from England, actually, Shropshire, England, where the first race in 2004 was won in dominant fashion by Michael Schumacher in the Ferrari F2004, where the circuit has actually a variety of layouts for different events. Formula One has raced in three different variations of the circuit, with all but one Bahrain Grand Prix taking place on the Grand Prix circuit layout of the track as well. But for 2010, organizers decided to use the endurance layout of the circuit to celebrate F1's diamond anniversary. and it was a very, very good event from what I've been told and what I've seen. The lengthened track was met with negative reactions from the drivers and was never used again in F1. However, in 2020, the Sakir Grand Prix was held on the shorter and faster outer circuit as well. So a lot of variations to this track. As you can see, there's actually a half track which would only take like about a minute to complete, where you actually come up towards turn 1, 2, and 3, and instead of going down the DRS straight up towards turn 4, which we have here today, you actually just cut across to the right and you make your way up towards turn 10 as you then take the rest of the track as normal. Of course, there's another variation to where turns 5 all the way down to turn 11 doesn't exist, where it looked more like a just like a full circle, where you have turn 1, 2, and 3, and 4 being the same, but instead of turning down towards turn 5, you actually go left up turn 5, then 6, and 7, and then down a long straight towards to what we have turn 14 and 15, and then down the finishing straight as well. Of course, the main place to actually have a good seat is going to be on the finishing straight at the grandstand. Be having the view of not just the drivers but also the garage and the pit crew as they make their way around. Of course, there's also some grandstands up towards turn 1, 2, and 3, where a lot of those people would have seen the recent events of Nikita Mazepin having himself a little bit of an incident every time he spins, and also that's where we actually saw the horrific crash of Romain Grosjean into the barrier on the right side of the track after having a little bit of a collision with Kvyat in 2020. So a lot of historic things that happened at this track, and let's actually talk about some of those historic things actually. So a lot of memorable moments at the Bahrain Grand Prix, where we actually saw Raikkonen's recovery drive back in 2006, where he was eliminated in Q1 in Bahrain in 2006 after a suspension failure. Starting at the very back of the grid in 22nd, McLaren placed the finish on a one-stop strategy with a mix of strategy and his fine overtaking skills. Raikkonen finished in 3rd place behind Michael Schumacher and Fernando Alonso, who had an epic battle for the lead throughout the entire Grand Prix. It was Alonso who came out on top, barging past Schumacher after his second pit stop. Notably, the race was also the first appearance for future world champion Nico Rosberg, as he set the fastest lap of the race, becoming the youngest driver to do so at that time as well. We also saw Kubica and Sauber's only pole as well, where Robert Kubica took the only pole position of his career at Sakir in 2008, and he has also become the first Polish driver to start a Grand Prix from the front of the grid as well, as marking Sauber's only pole position so far in Formula 1. Kubica lapped just 0.027 seconds, so 27 thousandths of a second faster than Felipe Massa, which remained the smallest margin pole was taken by in Bahrain until 2017. Of course, Kubica was unable to convert pole into a victory, finishing the race in 3rd as Massa took the win. But we're now going to go on board with Cameron Poulter, who will now be making his way around the final corner, starting the safety car restart here in fashionable in a very fashionable way, as he now leads by just under a second. Gary, also known as like Cummins, was able to make up a lot of that time there. We're seeing Natalie trying to stick her nose in towards turn 1. Liam as well battling out with Cummins, as Cummins, even though on his older set of mediums, is able to hold on. But Liam just has a faster exit there and will now move up to P2 coming up towards turn 4. A beautiful overtake there. Cummins is looking for the switchback but cannot find the space. Dusty Fake and Natalie still going side to side towards turn 5. Beautiful lines here from the two drivers as they carry on side to side down towards turn 8, up until Natalie has now finally made the overtake here. Not too sure if Dusty Fake's going to make the move back and it looks like Natalie is going to hold on to that position. Beautiful side-to-side battles and staying within track limits. Gronefeld making the dive on the inside of Jesper down towards turn 9 and 10. A beautiful overtake there. Skills Dan in the chat. Hello, my man. How are you doing? I'm very unfortunate with the crash, but good to see you in the chat. Now we're seeing Reloaded making his way past Dusty Fake as well, as the lead between Cameron and Liam is now 0.3 seconds on the field. As we also see Gronefeld looking on the inside here. Is he going to find the move? He's using the ERS. He's going to squeeze his nose in towards turn 14 and 15, and he's able to make the move. That could be giving Jesper the opportunity to make himself known, but it's going to be Liam to retake the lead of this race. Cameron Poulter now trying to go around the outside as the Ferrari is making himself known against the Mercedes, but is going to be Cameron to come out on top of that. Cameron to fall back into second, Liam to come out on top of that battle. Now we're also seeing Dusty Fake and Dylan going side to side here up towards turn 4. Dusty Fake on the inside, Dylan on the outside. A little bit of bumping tires as Dylan had a little bit of oversteer coming into turn 6, and Dusty Fake is able to take advantage of that and move up to P8. As we also see just ahead, Gronefeld making the dive bomb on Jesper and Reloaded. Well, sorry, not Jesper, on Reloaded and iCommons. And there you go, making the same move again as he did on Jesper on the previous lap. And Reloaded is now down to P6. Gronefeld, turn 9 and 10. Usually one of the most difficult parts of this track is able to grip it by the horn, take it by the horns, and grip that car around and make beautiful overtakes. Reloaded actually has himself a little bit of a incident there as he almost goes flying off the track of turn 11 and 12. And now Gronefeld as well, trying to get past Gary, also known as iCommons. Those set of softs, he's really going to find the pace early on from the safety car restart. And there you go, back up to P4. Even though the DRS will now be on, I think with his exiting speed is really going to help him out here. Well, let's see. Gary is looking around the outside, Reloaded on the inside. We could be going 3 wide here into turn 1. Does not look like it though. Gronefeld with his new set of softs can really take the brakes, work them a little bit harder than normal, and make the position done. Absolutely astounding safety car restart here, ladies and gentlemen. As we also see Gary and Jesper switching positions. Jesper moves up to P6, Commons down to P7. We also see Drunk Pirate, also known as Lost Robot, able to make his move as he takes up to P9. Sorry, just had to drink a little bit of water there. Absolutely extraordinary restart here, ladies and gentlemen. Liam has retaken the lead. Natalie is now looking on the inside towards turn 11. Jasper is not going to give it up easily, and he's going to fight for it. Coming up towards turn 12 and 13, he just cannot hold on against Natalie, as Natalie is now going to move up to P2. Cameron Poulter now down into P3. As we now have a spin on the field, and it's going to be iCommons as he has spun around turn 12. And he will now have to get those tires nice and cooled down before he starts pressing on it again. Lost Robot now right on the tail end of Dylan. He can see that Dylan has no ERS or the DRS. This could be Lost Robot's opportunity to make the move. And he goes on the inside with the DRS, with the slipstream as well, and he's now up to P7. Could be a short-lived overtake now, as Dylan will be having the DRS. Even though without the ERS, he's actually having a really good exit line here, as he's now looking on the inside potentially, and he's actually not going to go for it. He knows that his position is lost to Lost Robot, and he's going to slot in right behind in 8th place. Now let's see how these tires are doing. So Dusty Fake, Cameron Poulter, Commons, as well as Panda and Nozuri still out on their 10-lap-old set of mediums. Panda out on a 10-lap-old set of hards, so he's going to go for the long stint here tonight. Let's see if it's going to pay off here. Not entirely too sure. We're going to have to wait and see on that one. But as the grid starts to get a little bit more difficult, you can actually see that Shane is closing the gap. He's looking for the move on the inside. Dusty Fake shuts the door. Gave him a little bit of space, so that's going to mess up his line there. But Shane really made a trick and made a fool out of Dusty Fake into that corner. But Shane is actually really struggling to find the apex into these corners here, and that's going to really make him vulnerable on the exits. As you can see now, right behind Dusty Fake by just under 3/10, coming around the final corner, takes a little bit too much of that curb as he takes it a little bit more again. That's going to be giving Atmos the opportunity to make the move. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to, but it looks like Shane, he's looking on the inside, as we also have a battle up ahead with Cameron and Groenfeld. Is going to be both of the Alfa Romeos to get the job done. Atmos is looking to get the move on Dusty Fake, which he's able to, goes on the inside and makes the job done. Cameron Poulter is now spun off the track around turn 4. Just put too much throttle down on the elevation change. Could not defend against Dylan or Lost Robot as he now slots into P8. Lost Robot up to P6 for crucial points for the championship. Dusty Fake now has himself a little bit of a spin as he slides off, almost recreating spillage and Skills Dan, as he is now completely out of that one. Dusty Fake now in P14. Very unfortunate there for the Aston Martin driver, but keeps his head up, keeps his hands on the wheel, keeps that foot to the pedal, as he is now going to be trying to defend against Panda near the back. We're now going to move back up the field with Dylan, who has been right on the tail end of Lost Robot for the longest time. As you can see, a little bit of a slip up there from Dylan. Going to lose him a few hundredths as they now come around the final corners. So you can actually see these drivers are really giving it their all now. Dylan with DRS, he's going to be closing the gap. Is he going to look for the move here? He was eyeing it, he was looking at it on the inside, couldn't really get the job done though. So Lost Robot has the position for the time being. Dylan is now opened up the DRS once again. Is this going to be where he decides to strike? Still not yet, as he's going to be waiting on Lost Robot to really make his own mistake here. And Dusty Fake makes his first pit stop of the night, as he now exits out on a new set of hards to potentially finish the rest of this race. They can definitely last, but let's see if he's going to be able to do it. Very difficult with those set of tires, especially trying to get them warmed up. I'm pretty sure Skills Dan in the chat will definitely agree with me there, as Dylan's now looking on the inside up towards turn 11. Lost Robot is not going to give that position away so easily. And you can also see Cameron has a huge crash with Dylan and Cameron Poulter as they have a collision. Dylan goes sliding off the track up towards turn 12, and he is now out of this race. That might go down with the stewards at the end of that one. Not too sure exactly what happened there. It's only a yellow flag. Doesn't look like it's going to be a VSC or a safety car, as the drivers are able to make it past and the marshals are able to approach Dylan. And why is my phone going off right now? Sorry about that. That is so unfortunate there for Dylan, as he now is out of this race. 5 people now out of this race here, as Mo Threats has himself a little bit of spin down towards turn 1 and 2. And you can see him struggling to get back on the throttle here, as those tires are going to be screaming out in pain, as they're going to say that we need some ice cubes because we are boiling on this chassis. But now, as time goes on, as the grid gets a little bit more spread out, we're going to be taking a quick commercial break, so don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be right back. If you guys are watching this back, you guys can actually just see that Cameron Poulter has lost his front wing and is now crashed out. We'll have to go back into the pit lane for a new front wing, and that is really going to mess up his race, as he now pulls off to the side to let Panda through. Good sportsmanship there from him, as now Atmos is dying to go right on the tail end of Lost Robot. And Lost Robot as well. He does not have the DRS to defend against Atmos. So now Atmos could be taking this position very easily now with the DRS, the ERS, and the Slipstream looking on the inside. And he's going to move up into P7. The BRGs drivers, Cold Steel and Atmos, just having an extraordinary race here tonight, as they recently joined in the Tuesday division after complication between the admins and the Leo Lee group. And thank you guys so much for coming back in, as we are now here for we actually just passed the midway point of the race. We actually saw Cameron Poulter have himself a little bit of a crash here and lost his front wing. We'll go back into the pit lane, and he actually retires into the pit lane. He believes his race is over. He still had plenty of race left. There could have been a safety car that could have helped him out there, but it looks like he's going to be taking the early leave, potentially a mechanical failure. We're going to have to check back with him after. But Lost Robot now is really struggling on his set of mediums. Not too sure what's happening to the championship leader, as he is really struggling to find the grip on those set of tires. I believe he might actually have used the wrong the wrong setup for the car. Not entirely too sure what happened to him here. As you can see, really struggling around these corners. Same tires as Atmos, same tires as Shane, and still struggling. He might be pushing that car a little bit too hard. Not entirely too sure what is happening to the McLaren driver, but still MP8, crucial points for the Drivers' Championship as well. So that is going to be one thing that he's going to be looking forward on. But one person that has been really quiet up in the lead is going to be Liam, who has been having such an extraordinary race. Pole position as well, has been leading this race since the safety car restart, and it's been doing an exceptional job. Gotta say. And I'm actually looking, so Landscape King has actually crashed out, and he actually says, for sake, I crashed into someone in the pit lane. Sorry if I caused anybody damage. So he takes an early leave for actually having a collision in the pit lane. So that's actually a first, I gotta say. Don't think I've seen that before. But one thing that we are seeing, I do believe the McLaren's teammates has actually swapped cars, because Jesper is currently in P5 against Reloaded with an exceptional battle, and Lost Robot is actually in P8, the Drivers' Championship leader, current Season 2 Drivers' Champion as well. Skills Dan being the last season's Drivers' Champion of Season 3, and we also had Zach Johnson being the Drivers' Champion of Season 1 of Smoking Pirellis. Does not look like he's actually here today, so we actually had someone cover his spot. I do believe Mole Threats actually covering, being the reserve. As we now see Jesper, he's looking on the inside of Reloaded. Is he made the move on Reloaded? I do believe he has, as Reloaded now slots down to P4, and now with him having a time penalty, he's really going to struggle to get the position back. And let's actually check out the time penalties. So as you guys can see, Reloaded actually has a 5-second time penalty, with iCommons currently with 3 seconds. And as I say that, Shane also gets himself 3 seconds of time penalty. So perfect cue there for you, Shane. Perfect timing to get that time penalty, so we can see. But let's actually see the distance now from everyone on the grid. So Liam currently leading the race by over 3 seconds, with an exceptional lead from that man right there. And Mo Threats is now in the hot seat, as Cold Steel is actually catching up to him. So the leader right now of Liam to the Drivers' Championship leader of Lost Robot is currently separated by 17 seconds. So it just really shows that Liam has actually done like a lot of work here at Bahrain and really knows this track inside and out. But it's going to be difficult. Gotta say, it's just going to be difficult for them. as these drivers are really fighting against the elements here. A lot of sand, a lot of dust, as Reloaded is going to be able to slide into turn 1 up on Jesper now. Can Jesper make the move done? Oh, and Reloaded actually has the DRS once again. And Jesper still struggling. He's going to go for the switchback here, ladies and gentlemen, up towards turn 4. But Reloaded just has the better exit there, as he is able to slot back into P3 with a beautiful recovery there. And now Cold Steel, as I said, that DRS very strong for Cold Steel, as he now moves up to P8 off of Mole Threats. Served a quali ban here today. So started at the back of the grid, and is now up into P8. So a very, very good race for Cold Steel so far, as he's going to be finding himself going even further and further beyond. But again, guys, if you guys are interested in Smoking Pirelli's Racing Club, I want to segue you guys up towards Facebook. If you guys haven't followed Smoking Pirelli's Racing Club on Facebook, please do. That is where you'll be getting a lot of the notifications and invitations to the league. You'll be getting notifications about different announcements of the league. We will be also be receiving the updates of the championship for both the drivers and constructors championship for all 4 leagues that we have. We have the Tuesday and Thursday F1 league, we have the Friday F2 league, and we have the Wednesday Gran Turismo 7 league. If you guys are interested in joining that, please make your way towards Smoking Pirelli's Racing Club on Facebook, where you'll be getting all of the notifications, and you'll be receiving the invite to the Discord, where we have everything sorted on there. But one thing I am starting to notice here is that those front runners on those set of mediums, you can actually see Cold Steel and Mole Threats going side to side through turn 4. Cold Steel really struggling without any ERS, as they still go side to side. Mole Threats squeezing Cold Steel on the outside of turn 6. And you can actually hear the brakes screeching on Cold Steel's, as his brakes are not cold and they are not practically steel. They are just warm, and they are going to be melting at this point. We might actually see them catch fire. As a fun fact actually about these Formula 1 cars for you people back at home, the Formula 1 cars, they're mainly a front brake biased vehicles, and they can reach up to 1,000 degrees Celsius under braking. So it makes it very, very difficult for the drivers. Forza Ferrari, welcome, my man. I'll be giving you an invite, as ladies and gentlemen, Forza Ferrari could be the next upcoming driver on Smoker Pirelli's F2, as I'll be sending him an invite soon. But Forza Ferrari, welcome to Smoking Pirelli's, as we now have 10 laps left to go. Lost Robot Racing is going into the pit lane on his old set of mediums, as he believes those mediums cannot last the rest, as he's going to slot in another set of yellow mediums and exit out of the pit lane. Gary as well doing the same thing. As you can see, Gary's tires, look at the tire degradation on him, but instead of a mediums, he's going to go into a set of softs to finish this race. It's a bit of a different, interesting, very interesting pit strategy call, as Shane is now out of this race here, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, that corner there, man. Skills Dan Sam, be nice to see you in the F2 grid, mate. Skills Dan, I don't know what it is with you guys in that corner. Turn 6 and 7, very difficult for you guys, as now another one has a humongous crash into the wall, as Shane, Spillage, and Skills Dan all crash out on the same place, as Gronfeld is able to make the move on the inside, as they bump tires on Mole Threats towards turn 11, now up towards turn 12. Mole Threats has slotted down to P7, and you can see he barely has any sort of anything left in the battery, as he's using everything that he has, as Shane is now gone from the race. Natalie is also going into the pit lane. Those medium runners are really struggling now to keep those tires nice and warm. And let's see how much of a gap has Lost Robot gained on Natalie here, as Cold Steel also goes into the pit lane. You can actually see Natalie coming out of the pit lane now, slots right behind Mole Threats and Gronfeld. Same here, I'm excited, never done F2 competitive. F2 is actually very fun, to be honest with you, mate. The F2 cars are very fun. And Skills Dan, if you'd like, I can chat with Natalie, as we are currently on board with her. I can ask him if he would like to take my seat, as my Fridays are going to be booked nowadays. So I think Forza, you can definitely take my seat if you like. We also have Liam as my teammate, so a very big competitor here in Smoking Pirellis. And Natalie now, she's looking for the move. Gonna play it a little bit more patient. Now looking on the inside here, she's had a lot better grip and a lot better exit speed here, as she's gonna slot onto the inside of Mo Threats and make the job done. Those new set of softs are really gonna have that advantage that she's really gonna be wanting now. Out on a new set of softs, really gonna find the grip here as they make their way through. Oh, would have liked to race you. I don't know, man. I'm not too sure on that one. As Liam now goes into the pit lane on his new set of softs, Jesper is now going to take the lead of this race here, as Liam could have gotten undercutted by Natalie, as Natalie now has the DRS, the ERS, and the slipstream. She's catching up to Liam, but it's not going to be enough to get past Liam as they make their way towards turn 1. Grofeld around the outside has really been very aggressive on the brakes here, but he's able to get the job done for the time being. He does have the DRS, fight against Natalie once again, and if you guys are just queuing in, I'm seeing a huge surge of people coming in. If you guys are just queuing in, welcome to Smoking Pirelli's Racing Club, as we are here for the Tuesday League Season 4 Round 9 of the Bahrain Grand Prix. I'm your commentator, Just Gaming, and if you are just queuing in, you have missed a very, very good race, where down for the penultimate race of the season, we actually have second place Skills Dan have a crucial crash for Lost Robot, as this could be the decider here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna have to wait and see what the stewards say, and I still am yet to receive any sort of notification about the standings from Zach Johnson, who of course is our Season 1 Drivers Champion. And so far now, Jesper is now right on the tail end of Reloaded. Is Reloaded going to hold on to the lead? Now he does have the time penalty, and he's making a fake move to the pit lane. Jesper is still going to stay on his very worn set of mediums, as you guys can see. The deterioration line, very difficult here. And I gotta say, with these two battling out throughout the entire second half of the race, Natalie bags in the extra point for the fastest lap for the time being. This just reminds me of the duel in the desert between Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton. If you guys did see in the 2014 Bahrain Grand Prix, seeing as the starting point of Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg's bitter rivalry as Mercedes teammates, as the race, which was the 900th F1 Grand Prix, saw Rosberg start from pole. Hamilton got the better start, however, and led the opening stages. The pair scrapped for position before the first pit stops, with Hamilton ultimately remaining ahead and thus being given the privilege of the first stop. The safety car was called out later as after Esteban Gutierrez Saber rode as the result of a collision with Pastor Maldonado, where the safety car period prompted a thrilling conclusion to the race, as Rosberg, still behind Hamilton, was now on the faster tire compound. There was little the German could do though, and after more wheel-to-wheel battles, Hamilton won the race, equaling Juan Manuel Fangio's tally for Grand Prix victories. Of course, that has then he has then gone on to break the Grand Prix victories off of Michael Schumacher, as he now has the most Grand Prix wins of any F1 driver. And now we can actually see Liam here. He's looking to get the race win, as he's been having such an extraordinary race. Currently completely out of ERS. Sees the two drivers ahead of him battling it out, as he's trying to slot into the slipstream. Does have the DRS to help him out. And we're going to stay on this POV, as Jesper has a little bit of a lockup down towards turn 4. That's going to be giving Reloaded the opportunity to hold on to the race lead. Of course, Reloaded still with that time penalty. He's really going to struggle here. And Liam just giving Jesper as much space as he can, does not want to get a ending race front wing damage. As you can see now, he's looking on the inside. Is he going to get the job done off of Jesper? He's going to pull a Gronfeld here tonight around turn 9 and 10. Jasper trying to get the switchback, but cannot find the space. Now Liam looking at the tail end of Reloaded with the DRS. Now looking around the outside as they go side to side. Liam with the soft compounds, the newer softs, are just going to have a lot better grip. It's coming up towards turn 11. And Reloaded actually takes a seriously wide line there. And that's going to give Jasper the opportunity to squeeze on the inside. A little bit of bumping tires as they have a little bit of a collision down towards turn 11 and 12. Forza Ferrari in the chat saying what a move. That was an extraordinary move there. As you can see, Jasper just really struggling on his set of tires. You can really see that he's struggling on them. And he is struggling to find the pace now as Reloaded has the DRS. Jasper will be getting it after. And you can actually see now that Natalie on her new set of softs has caught up with the pair, as they'll be battling out for the podium position now. Natalie is looking, Jasper is pushing her to the inside even more. She's going to break a little bit later. She's going to stick her nose in with the softs, able to do that and move up to P3. Beautiful overtake there. Beauty for my teammate carrying the flag, says Skills Dan. Exactly. Liam has done an exceptional job here today, as this is, I do believe, his second win of the season. If I do remember that correctly. Skills Dan, if you can remind me, I was gone for like a period of time before, so I'm not too sure if you got a win from then. But Natalie now with the DRS, with the better exit on Reloaded, she's able to make the move and go up to P2. Reloaded did defend pretty well, but with his old set of mediums and Natalie's new set of softs, are really going to be a no contest practically, after them to have themselves a battle. Now we're also seeing Cold Steel has just recently made the move on Lost Robot on his new set of softs. So I think Lost Robot has really made the wrong call to go on a new set of mediums to end this race, as they are really going to be struggling to keep up with those set of softs, and they're only going to have like one lap of a faster lap time, and that's not going to be enough for him to gain any more positions. Jasper is now really closing in on Reloaded. He's looking for the inside. He's sticking his nose in. Old mediums versus old mediums, as them two have been battling out for the longest time here today, ladies and gentlemen. These two have got to be the battles of the day, as they've been battling out throughout the entirety of this race. Reloaded still looking on the inside here. I'm going to watch Stranger Things, people saying it's good. Yeah, it actually, for what I've been told, yeah, it turns out it has actually been pretty good. And you can actually see these two are just pulling moves left, right, and center. See it, Forza, have a good one, my man. But ladies and gentlemen, these two are just pulling moves left, right, and center. Switchbacks, later braking, catching them out on the next corner, and just done beautiful, beautiful racing between these two, as they've done an exceptional job here tonight. Reloaded now with the DRS, and I think whoever comes on top of this battle will be getting driver of the day. And so far is looking like Jasper, as he does not have any sort of time penalties, and really giving Reloaded a run for his money. Now Grown fell right on the tail end of Reloaded, and you can actually see that now. He's like sniffing that diffuser coming around the final corner. He's looking for the move around the outside, switches to the inside. The door is shut again. Now on the outside, the door is open. Reloaded is going to have a little bit of an advantage with the slipstream, as we now could be going 3 wide here, as he takes the dive bomb on the inside here for Reloaded. And it's a very ambitious dive bomb. Completely mistimes the braking zone. Got a little bit too ambitious there, as now Groenfeld leads P3. That's going to mess up Jasper's opportunity now, as he's now going to look on the inside towards turn 4, but with his older set of mediums, is really going to struggle to find the grip here. But you got to say, Reloaded has given it his all, but so far it's going to be Jasper to come out on top of that battle here, as Jasper is now going to be right on the tail end of Groenfeld, going to be having a little bit of a slipstream here. Oh, but Jasper actually just misses out of DRS. This could be Reloaded's opportunity to strike here as they come around turn 10. So now the gap is going to be closing in once again, and we're going to be having a few more battles before we see the checkered flag. But so far, ladies and gentlemen, this has been an extraordinary race, and if you want to see everything that Smokin' Pirelli's does behind the scenes, please make your way down to Facebook and follow Smokin' Pirelli's Racing Club on Facebook, as you'll be getting a lot of the notifications and announcements about just different things of the league. When it comes down to a new driver joining, to the calendar, to the team picks of the new game of F1 22 as well. So stay in tune for that one as well. And if you want to get all of that, please follow the page and also have the notification bell on, so you'll be notified every time they make a post and make an update. And you can actually see Reloaded once again looking on the inside. He's going to get a little bit desperate now. Jasper saw him making the move and gave him a little bit of space. Oh, Jasper with a little bit of a slippery exit there. This could be Reloaded's opportunity to get the job done. The DRS at the slipstream. He's going to opt for the outside here. Is he going to get the job done? Jasper is really defending it off as much as he can. And Reloaded retakes P4. Absolutely extraordinary battle that we haven't witnessed between these two, as they've been having this battle ever since they met each other on the grid, I believe around lap 15. So this could be a 16, maybe even 17 lap old battle. No. Wait. Hold on. No, 15 or 14 lap old battle. And you guys see Jasper's tires are really struggling out here, as Atmos is closing in on the pair on his new set of softs. So they could be battling out for P5 now if Atmos doesn't get the move done. You can actually see with those set of softs just gaining time after time after time on those new set of tires, as we now see Liam cross the line for the final lap here. The white flag is being waved on the field, as this is going to be the last ditch effort for all of these drivers. An amazing race from start to finish, and Jasper and Reloaded just making it even more memorable, as their battle has been absolutely extraordinary. Close battles all over the field, but these two have really gotten like the biggest star here tonight, and I think it's going to go down to Jasper at the end of the day, with them having a clean race, no time penalties, and just gave the space when needed. Absolutely extraordinary from Jasper. Reloaded, a very close second driver of the day, as Amos is running the tail end of them as well. But we're now going to go up to Liam, as he is going to... Oh, and actually Atmos looking on the inside, couldn't find the grip here, and that's going to lose him a lot of time here. But ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Liam. Pole position, carried his team here tonight, as he's going to come across turn 14 and 15 for the final time. The fireworks are being fired off into the sky as he takes the trip down the finishing line. Will be leading in Parc Ferme, as Liam takes the race win. Natalie finishes off in second, and Gronfeld finishes off the podium. Now we're actually seeing Atmos going around the outside of Reloaded, as Jasper will come into P4, Atmos in P5, and Reloaded finishing in P6 with a very enjoyable finish. A very enjoyable finish, as Mo Threats now cross the line to finish P7. Lost Robot pushes even further for the Drivers' Championship, as he finishes in P8, with Cold Steel starting in last, finishes in P9, and I Cummins rounds up the top 10. Again, ladies and gentlemen, what a race that we have witnessed here tonight. I hope you all have enjoyed, and until next time... Wait, hold on. Oh, sorry, I read the wrong thing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys have enjoyed this race. It's been absolutely extraordinary. Liam takes the race win here tonight. Lost Robot pushes even further for the Drivers' Championship. Liam pushes himself further for the Constructors' Championship with the race win here tonight. I have been your commentator, Justin, also known as Just Gaming, and we're going to be seeing you next week for the season finale at Zandvoort. So ladies and gentlemen, if you want to watch that race, it will be right here, same place, same time, next week Tuesday. Make sure you guys stay cued in on that one. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys have enjoyed, and we'll see you next week. Lots of love and stay safe, everybody.